Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got about 1 minute till the open here. All right. So, looks like price already swept our 8 a.m. highs. I marked out my 8 a.m. high, my 8 a.m. lows. So like around about 9:18, we swept our 8 a.m. highs. We didn't really hit any key levels here, and it swept the lows, going down to Friday settlement. Well, it swept the highs and it's targeting towards the lows, 8 a.m. lows, hitting the Friday settlement. So here we are at the open now, and it looks like we're going to low. So I'm looking for a sweep of the lows, going down into maybe this higher time frame PD array, this 4 hour. This is a 4 hour FVG. There's a 4 hour FVG here. So this is our opening gap here. This is where we open. So I'll just mark that out real quick. New week opening gap for Monday. So we got let's see what ES is doing here. So ES isn't looking too much different. So it looks like we're going down here. So we're sweeping these 8 a.m. lows, looking to tap into this higher time frame PD array, this 4 hour fair value gap. That's our 4 hour fair value gap there. So let's do it like this so I can see. There we go there. So it's looking like buyers starting to step in here as we get closer to that FEG. All right. So we swept these 8 a.m. lows, looking for at least a tap into this 4 hour fair value gap so that we can get a higher time frame PD array tap here. There are no real. We got a prior day low down there as a key level. We had these London lows. It swept the London low. Well, the 8 a.m. low and the London low are about the same. So that would qualify as a key level as well. So now what I'm looking for, if we don't get I would much rather have a tap into this 4 hour fair value gap. But if we don't get it, I'm looking for an inversion. Maybe this 1 minute FEG here. If you get a body close above that 1 minute, let's check the 5 minute here and see a 2 minute. Okay, we have a 2 minute here too as well. There's a good 5-minute FEG here. That's our 5-minute FEG. There's a lot of strength on ES here. A lot of strength on ES. So I'm looking for a 1-minute body close here on NQ. Got about 30 seconds here. It looks like this is going to just fly, take off without us. And this is a 5-minute. There's a 5-minute here. So let's see, we got about 3 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. See if we invert this 5-minute. So I may look for a stronger sweep of these 8 a.m. highs. So it looks like we swept the lows, didn't really hit too much of a higher time frame or a key level. The London lows was a key level there, but I don't think it's enough for me to want to get in. But I may just want to take a jab here. Or are we going to wait? I think I'm going to wait until we sweep these highs, tap into this 4-hour fair value gap, and see where it leads us. But we have a lot of objectives here, a lot of key levels to the upside. So I kind of want to get in on this long. So I'm going to wait for let's wait for a close of this 5-minute. See what type of pullback we get. So let's see what's going to happen here. As it kind of left without us, being as though price swept these highs, not a whole lot, but you can see it here. It swept these 8 a.m. highs just barely, then immediately went down to the lows. We came down and we hit the Friday settlement price, which was before our 8 a.m. lows, and also we swept London lows, which was parallel or the same level as our 8 a.m. lows. I would have liked it to tap that 4-hour fair value gap before heading higher, but see, it looks like we tapped into this upper FEG on the 4-hour, and immediate rejection here after a sweep of the high. So right now it's looking, we have buyers here, we have sellers here on these strong upper and lower wicks. Price is just a little bit too iffy for me to want to jump in. I would have liked to have caught this long here off of this 1-minute inversion after we inverted this 1 minute. But see how high it took it before it closed and inverted, and then we were all the way up here where it was really nowhere to put my stop loss. So I'm just going to wait for price to settle down here and see where it wants to go. We're still below VWAP. We're rejecting off of this higher time frame FEG. We did invert. Looks like we're going to invert this 5 minute. Looks like we're going to invert this 5 minute. I would like to see a nice pullback. I'd like to see a nice pullback before getting into this trade. If I was to take a long. But ES is very strong. But right now it's just a little bit too much going on all at one time. We broke our highs, immediately went to the lows, came back and broke our highs again and rejected. Now we're getting a nice retracement down to this 5 minute fair value gap that we just inverted. So let's see if we can't get some structure to the upside. Well, let's see if we can't break some structure and continue to the upside. If we look at the 15 minute hasn't broke structure yet. So if we get a break of structure on the 15 minute higher time frame break of structure, I'd be more apt to shoot for these longs. So, and we haven't. So we did pull back into this 5 minute. It's respecting consummate encroachment of this fair value gap. I'd like to maybe take a long to these highs here. But there's a lot of rejection there. So these sellers could be pushing down. So as you see, I mean, we started here, they're pushing down here, and they're pushing down. So they're getting lower and lower each time. So to take a long from here, even though we're respecting consummate encroachment of this FVG, to take a long here, we're looking at what's just happened here, where the sellers are increasing strength and they're pushing down. So it looks like they're trying to trap buyers by manipulating higher. But we're gonna be patient. And we're going to hold out. I like to mark my ADM highs, ADM lows as an indication of where price is going. But we're going to use our if and then statements. But if price acts like it has this morning, where we barely wicked these ADM highs and then immediately went to the lows here. Now we broke the lows, swept London low, didn't really tap into our higher time frame fair value gap. And then went higher, inverted a 5 minute fair value gap, and now it looks like we're disrespecting this 5 minute fair value gap inversion and continuing lower. So if price does this on occasion, then I'm not going to hold or carry too much weight on a sweep of these ADM highs and ADM lows. I'm then going to start looking at my PD arrays, my higher time frame PD arrays, and structure breaks and change of character, and so on and so forth. So right now we tapped into this higher time frame 4 hour fair value gap and immediately rejected. We didn't tap into this lower fair value gap. This is a bullish fair value gap. These are both bullish 4 hour fair value gaps. So let's see here. So this is a bullish fair value gap. It hasn't closed below. We haven't bodied below this fair value gap, so it's still bullish. This was a fair value gap created on the way up on the 4 hour time frame, so it's bullish. This also was created on the way up, and then it immediately came back down, wicked lower, never bodied below it yet. On this 4-hour candle, we have about 15 minutes to see if it'll body below. I'd rather wait to see if price body belows this 4-hour fair value gap as an inversion in the next 15 minutes. If it does that, then it looks like we could see lower. We could see price go lower, maybe to sweep prior day lows or get down into this 4-hour fair value gap here. We do have a big bottom wick on this 4-hour candle here. So it looks like we have some strong buyers here in this area. So let's see. Let's see what price does. But either way, we're just going to be patient. We're going to wait. On Mondays is typical price action. Don't want to really rush into nothing. Market hasn't had really any time to settle or pick a direction. People are just, recovering from their trades over the weekend. Friday's trades, looking how the market may have gapped on them. So let's see where we're going. So it looks overall bullish, but even still, you could get caught up in an intraday position that could really get you in trouble. Even if you're on the right side of the market, if your stop loss or your entry isn't ideal, you could still get caught up taking longs, even though the market is bullish, but not being able to catch proper entries at the proper time. So let's just be patient. Let's let it settle down. Let's see where we're going, and let's see where this next 4-hour candle brings us. We got a lot of opportunity. Markets it's just now 15 minutes into the open. Let's go ahead and settle down and take our time here. Let's see what's happening. Good morning, something sweet, 919. Okay. Thanks for checking in. Sweet 919. All right. So, right now we're just waiting to see what price it's going to do here. We're on the 5-minute here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this 15-minute. So we're respecting this 5-minute inversion, and it looks like we're moving higher. But we are moving into this 4-hour fair value gap where we're constantly seeing rejection at this area. So even though price is looking bullish, we're getting some rejection here, and respecting this 5-minute inversion. I don't necessarily want to jump in a trade too early and get caught up. Like I said earlier, even though we might be on the right side of the trade, it's all about getting in at the right time. So the right time would be after seeing some more confirmation that price is finished its objectives to the downside. If we are bullish, once price is finished sweeping its objectives to the downside, maybe some liquidity areas, or if I'd feel a lot better if it tapped into this 4-hour fair value gap, and then went higher, then showed us obstruction higher, then I'd be more confident. Being as though we left this 4-hour open, and we do have this area of liquidity here where a lot of buyers went long. Price could definitely sweep lower, sweep this liquidity, tap this 4-hour, and then before continuing higher. But I'm just going to stick with our first plan and wait for this 4-hour candle to close. Let's see if we body below this 4-hour fair value gap, or if we continue higher. I think that'll give us a lot more information as to which way price is liable to end up going. So I'm looking on the 15-minute, and it's interesting because it doesn't seem like price is doing much. It's kind of hanging out in this area here. We have clear targets to the upside here, but we also have clear targets to the downside here. So it's kind of in this little area of, we're kind of in this range here. So we want to see we have these equal highs here, and I'll just mark these out. The equal high there, and we have this liquidity pocket here. I call it a liquidity pocket because I know there's a bunch of stop losses just sitting there after a lot of buyers went long. So all right, yeah. So it looks like price is trying to climb higher here, but it's failed to break out of our range. Kind of hanging above these 8 a.m. highs, respected this 5-minute. But before I jump into anything, I still like to see a little bit more confirmation A nice break of this high here would be a good indication that price wants to go higher. All right, so we broke that area we were looking for. So what I'm looking for some expansion. I'm looking for a strong move to the upside. This bullish engulfing candle is kind of what we're looking for here, creating this fair value gap. If price continues to the upside, so so this is where we are now. We wicked up above our ADM highs. Price came, and this was before the open, around 918. Came down, but when we wicked above, we didn't really hit any significant key levels. However, price did continue downward to sweep our lows to Friday settlement price, London lows. Didn't hit our higher time frame PD array here. Came up, inverted our first presented fair value gap here, and inverted our 5-minute. So by any and all means, we are valid for longs. Consolidated. Now we're continuing higher. So as of now, I'm kind of looking towards our longs. If we can come down and retest this fair value gap, I'd like to see a pullback and a retest of this area, and then a continuation to the upside. That would give me more indication that we're heading higher. We do have our New York midnight opening, which is always a major magnet drawing liquidity. So I'd love to aim for that if we do get into something. Yeah, so price just looks like it's just going now. I really like to see a nice pullback to give us an entry. We got about 45 seconds left into this 4-hour candle closing. So it looks like we're respecting this bullish fair value gap on the 4-hour. which is in these long bottom wicks, which is nice indication that price is going to continue to the upside. Doesn't mean we're not going to pull back before going higher, so that's what we're looking for now to get an entry. We have plenty of bullish objectives here to target. So let's see what we can get on this new candle here. So we're looking at the London highs here. So it looks like, let's see if we sweep these highs, these London highs. We're starting to see a pullback here on the 1 minute. Which is good. Let's see if we can get back down to that 1 minute fair value gap here. I'm just gonna put it here just for show purposes, but I'll pull up my live account or my my eval once we see if we get into this trade. So I'm just going to set a buy limit here on TradingView. If I do get into the trade, I'll pull up here's my TradeAvate account. So we get into this, I'll pull it up so we can see that as well. It's not popping up on my TradeAvate. This is my issue on TradingView. I would connect my TradeAvate with TradingView, but there's always issues with this TradingView, so I just don't trust it enough to do that. So this is just sort of visuals. So let's see. But if we do get in, I will pull up my TradeAvate account. So it didn't tap us in on our limit here, but we'll see if we do get in. It looks like it's tapped us in on this limit here on TradingView. So let's see how it treats us here. So I'd like to see when it tapped in for it to show us some speed to the upside. But it is getting some play to the upside here. So let's see where we go. Again, I'm targeting our New York Open, midnight open, which is always a good draw in liquidity. We are showing some good movement to the upside. So this is our play here on TradingView. And I'll pull up my TradeAvate account in a second here. So one thing I'd like to see a little bit more speed to the upside, which we aren't getting. We are respecting our bullish PD arrays, but just not a lot of speed on the 1 minute. Moving into the direction of our target. Yeah, price action is really slow right now in the 1 minute. It looks like it is climbing. Definitely like to see a little bit more speed and aggression to the upside. We are looking good on this trade here. We're just going to have to kind of let it play out. Approaching this 10-10 time frame. So if it's going to deliver higher, I'd like to see it deliver now. So price is climbing higher. We're getting up to those London highs. Looks like we haven't quite hit them yet. We break those London highs, I'd like to pull my stop loss up to break even there at 635 area. At 635. I'll bring my Trade Evade account over. I got a little bit of a worse entry here on my Trade Evade account, but I didn't want to add down here just because it's an eval. We don't have a lot of drawdown, but typically I wish I would have waited and got in where we got in here. But let's see. We're just gonna wait and see what price does. See if it takes us up to those highs. Price action is really giving us a lot of whipsawing to the upside, to the downside. So we're finally starting to get that push to the upside. Waiting for a little bit more volume to kick in here. See if we can't get that kick that we're looking for. At least get to them London highs there. So it looks like we'll get to those highs. I'm gonna respect what this market is doing. I'm gonna bring my expectations down to these London highs, which would still be a good, pretty good trade. Let's see what the rest of the day brings us. So we'll get a 1.8 RR on that trade there. And like I said, we have a lot of objectives to the upside here. We also have a higher time frame PD array up there. We have the 1 minute, the daily bearish fair value gap that it could shoot for. We still have our New York Open, which ultimately I think price will go for. It looks like we are going to sweep these London highs here eventually. And there we go. So that was a good trade there. And this is just my TradeAvate account. This is my TradingView account. So we're up about 50,000 on this TradingView account. Here is my TradeAvate account here. So we got into that there. So we're up about 132 on that account there, which is pretty good. So we kind of try to play it safe on these accounts here, because the rules are a little bit tighter. But this is my Lucid eval account, which I have no doubt we'll get through that pretty easy. But that was a good trade there on the London highs. I simply just cut it short. I ultimately do believe we'll get to the New York Open. I cut it short because price is not moving as fast as I'd like it. There's a lot of sideways movement, and I'm trying to pull up so we can see ES here. So NQ is lagging big time as opposed to ES. It's good that ES is pushing, but NQ is lagging. Why didn't I trade ES? Because I like NQ. When it moves, but when it doesn't, it doesn't. So, and right now it's just slow crawling. We swept the London high for a small pullback. Now it looks like we're inching higher. We do got some low resistance liquidity here. That looks like we're slowly chopping away at. Maybe even aiming for these Asia highs here. Now that we broke those London highs and we're heading toward that Sunday new week opening gap. If I can get more of a I don't want to say confirmation, because I've already got confirmation that we're headed to the upside. I just want to see a little bit more speed, a little bit more volume, and a little bit more commitment, I'd say, from the NASDAQ to say this is where we're going. We got a lot of nice bottom wicks on this 4 hour. This new 4 hour candle is a nice wick above here, so I do like all the Let's see where this 1050 macro takes us. We got about 30 minutes to that 1050 macro opens. If we get a nice pullback, and this is our closest 1 minute. Let me see here. Got a nice 2 minute here. So let's do this. Let's play off the 2 minute. I like the 2 minute. 2 minutes always been pretty good to me. All right. Let's look at our 2 minute. Let's come back and see. Come back and retest that 2 minute. See, we left that. We almost hit New York, the New York opening, midnight open here. Kind of left it. So let's see if we left it for this pullback. So it looks like we're gonna just leave it going. We did create another little small FEG there, but we still may see that pullback. But either way, looks like price is headed to the upside, like we called it. We got a pretty good trade out of that for about $1,200 for 1.8 RR. My original target was the New York Open here, New York Midnight Open, which is still good. We kind of went and pulled our since I was only in for 1 mini on this one, there's no chance to scale out, so it's either all in or all out, and I just decided to take the 1200 here at the London highs. Thoughts maybe that we would get a pullback maybe, and then for another possible entry, but it looks like we swept this New York Midnight Open. So we still have Asia highs and Friday highs. So I'm more than confident now that we're headed for these levels. I believe we're going to hit those Asia highs. So it looks like we're rejecting off midnight open, which is typical. So if we do get a pullback and a retest, it would be from this midnight open. Yeah, so price did give us good indication of going higher. We could have went in. This was my original entry point, or area of interest here when we inverted this 1 minute fair value gap, and then when it went higher. The only problem is it closed so far above this 1 minute, and with no retest, that I didn't really feel confident in putting my entry and stop loss in there. We did have a 5 minute fair value gap here that it inverted. Once it inverted that 5 minute, we kind of consolidated and then went down to retest that 5 minute. We respected it, basically closing inside this 5 minute fair value gap, which kind of made me a little bit nervous again of not taking that entry. And then we went up, and then you could see these upper wicks here where it kind of played around here. Then we finally broke this area and created this 1 minute fair value gap, and that's when I said, we'll go in here. We went up, came down, and retested this 1 minute, and that's where I put our buy limit here and got in, and I put our TP originally at midnight open. Then we brung it down as price was just playing around, coming back down and going back up. I just brung our target down to the London highs, but we ultimately did hit full TP of midnight open. I'm looking now to see if we take these Asia highs and maybe even prior day highs, but we're seeing just a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of rejection off of midnight open and consolidation. But the way that price has been acting this morning, that's typical characteristic of price action on this Monday. So after a little bit of rejection and consolidation, a little bit of pullback, looks like we'll continue higher. Is it enough for me to get back in for a trade? No, not typically. But when I'm trading the evals, I do trade kind of aggressively to try to get past those evals. And when you attack aggressively, and you have to be pretty sure of your position and that you're on the right side of the trade. I'm pretty sure we're on the right side of the trade, going to the upside. But it could also get you on in another aspect, as we're pretty high up in this leg. So to take a small scalp with heavy size, it could be at a point where it wants to pull back. We could still be on the right side of this trade. Get to the point where it wants to pull back kind of deep. But if I'm too heavy on my eval and it pulls back too deep, it could blow the account, simply because we don't have a lot of drawdown, and that's the game. You could have your trade right. You could be on the right side of the trade. Everything's right. Your analysis is right. Everything. However, if you go in at the wrong time with too much size and get a little bit too much pullback in the wrong direction, that's enough to blow your account. And typically that's what it'll do. It'll pull back, just blow your account, and then go back up to finish out the way that you originally expected it to. But I'm not going to play that game this morning. So I'm just going to... Mondays is a slow day for me. I've always contemplated on whether I'm going to trade or not on Mondays. So to walk away with a nice trade, we got about $1,000 on this one. Got about $132 on our eval. I'll walk away with that on a Monday. Maybe come back, check out PM session to see if prices start to smooth out a little bit, got a little bit cleaner, and maybe take a trade then. But right now, it just wouldn't be worth me trying to risk my account on this trade here. So overall, we did good. I think that trade was a good trade. We went over our analysis, we stuck to our strategy, and we got a win. So on that note, I think I'll close out for today. I will be back tomorrow for the 9:30 open. So if you want to come check me out, check me out. If you want to trade alongside me, you can just open a TradingView account. If you're not too sure on your strategy, or you're just getting started, open up a TradingView account, paper trade. You can trade right alongside me, not risking anything, just like we did here. but you're getting the reps in. You're practicing your strategy. You're getting used to the market and how things work. And then when you're ready, you could get yourself an eval and put some real money at risk. But either way, I'd like to see you. Like to hear from you in the chat if you're checking me out, whether live or in the post recording session. Just hit that like and subscribe. I'm trying to build the channel, just trying to share my journey, and make some friends along the way. So thanks again. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy day trading. See you on the next one. Peace.